Hello, I'm Matt and welcome to Badger Workshop. This jig comes with a dust hood that's designed to fit a standard power tool hose, but it gets clogged up really easily, so I want to try and do something about it. I had a look at buying a hood, I thought about making one, and then I just saw my dustpan sat in the corner and I thought that might just work. These are actually cheaper than plastic dust hoods, so I thought I'd modify this and then buy myself a replacement. The handle is held on with a couple of rivets, so first I get a file and file those down. Then I can get the handle taken off and I file everything nice and smooth. I want to be able to fit a 2.5-inch dust hose to the bottom, so I ripped down some 18mm ply to the same size as the base of the dustpan. I want to get this bit of wood attached to the pan, so I get it positioned and then I take my hole punch and mark out a few holes where I can drill and get some screws in. With the ply securely in place, I mark out where I want the hole to go for the dust pole. I'm just going to stick it right in the centre. I can then take a hole saw and drill down through the wood and through the metal of the dustpan. I think the closest hole saw I had was 1mm too small, so I'm going to have to do some sanding. To make sanding and fitting the pipe a bit easier, I'm just going to unscrew the bit of wood again, then I can take it to the spindle sander, clean it up and just open up that hole a little. Making it too small to start with actually worked out really well and I could get it so it was a really nice tight fit. Now it'll be screwed back together, but this time I'm going to put some silicone in between to get a nice airtight seal. First thing I did when I got this jig was attach it to a couple of layers of MDF. This is so it's got an overhang either side that I can get some clamps on to attach it to the bench. But now I also need a way of attaching this dustpan to it. So I've got this bit of wood I'm going to glue onto the front of it, and this is going to hang over the bench. I drill some pilot holes, get it screwed in place, and then I can get the jig attached back down to it. So I need a bracket to get this attached, so I thought I'd bend one up. I went to buy some flat bar, but the cheapest thing I could find was this metal strapping that has the holes pre-drilled in it, so I thought that'd be perfect for the job. I mark out how long it needs to be, and then I can get it clamped in the vise and cut it down to size with the hacksaw. I then get my vise out of the vise and get the metal bender put in, and then I put a 90-degree bend on each end of this bit of strapping. The bracket can now get attached to the jig, so that's where this bit of wood that I attached to the bottom comes in handy. A few screws through the pre-existing holes into the wood, and then I can hold up the dustpan to work out where the screws are going to need to go through it. With it in position, I punch a hole either side, and then I can get a drill and drill through. These are 6mm holes, so I've got some M6 bolts with a nice big penny washer, and that can go through. I can then get the bolt threaded through one of the existing holes in the bracket, get another washer on, and I've got a wing nut to tighten it up. I wanted to use a wing nut, and then I can easily adjust the angle of this dust chute without using any tools. And that's it all done. Now I can hook up the dust extractor and try making a few cuts. So as you can see, this is not working great. I've got it pretty high up, but the chippings are still flying out over it. So I think we need another modification. So I'm just going to warm up the top, and then I've got some flashing tape left over from the workshop build. I can get that folded over. I'm warming it up because flashing tape sticks a lot better when it's warm. And when it cools down, it's then very secure. So I've got this bit that's going to go on. I want it to touch the comb at the top. I'm just going to fold it over at the correct length. With that modification done, let's have another go at making a mess. That seems to work much better, and the chippings are falling into the dust chute and being sucked up. It's not perfect, and if I added some dust collection to the router itself, that definitely improved things, but it's an improvement on what I had before. Thanks for watching, thanks to my patrons, and please subscribe for more videos.